Hello, I'm Kim.
And I'm John, and welcome to Match Chats. So today we have a different outlook on how we want this episode to go. We've gotten a lot of feedback, and we kind of just talked, and we realized that today's topic is going to be best addressed by the experts, and we just think that the callers' questions will not be relevant to the topic.
Yes, well, because this is such an important topic.
Yeah.
And I think people don't even know the proper questions to ask. So I think that we, as the professionals, we know best. You know what we even need to ask. What questions are even relevant for this? So.
Right. And I'm so hot. All right. So, all right. So as we're going through these, we wanted to really feel like you're sitting in our living room with us.
Absolutely.
Enjoying tea and eating apples, and it's just how it's meant to be, you know.
Yeah, that makes it very, very much comfortable for everyone, you know. So you could be comfortable, and we can be cozy.
Yeah.
And all together, we're very comfortable.
Right, and I think that we haven't really told you the topic. So today we're talking about engagement and everything related.
Yeah. What I wanted to do today is go ahead and get John's perspective on just kind of the most important quality to look for in a mate. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, you really want to know really what is the most important thing to be watching for. You know, maybe one or two things, and really that I think is very essential. So to start with.
Kim, thank you for asking. I just think it's something we can discuss. And in our living room. So I think for the most important
we like to have fun here on Match Shots. So you know, even though we laugh a little bit, I mean, we just like to make sure that it's very lighthearted.
Of course.
So it's okay.
So for the most important qualities, I like to just real quick, I would answer, then I would like to get your perspective. You know, it's nice to have a balance.
Sure.
So I have the triple G's.
Okay.
Triple G's.
Oh.
So for the most important qualities, I would say gut feeling. Always trust it, because your gut is just, it's there and it speaks, and it's just, you know, something that just one of the G's.
Yeah.
The next one is good looks, and you know what? At the end of the day, not everyone's going to look, you know, like us and whatever, and you might have, you know, like a subpar, but it's important, it really is. So you need to be careful that the good looks are there. And then my last one is God. I just think it's important how God fits in.
Yeah.
Because if it's not there, then what is it there for? You know? I mean, it's speechless. Speechless, but yeah.
John, those are very good. Very good suggestions.
Thanks.
No,
So what's your opinion?
So I do have a little bit of a different
no way.
Because I think that sometimes we like to think that, you know, we need to focus on character or looks or even a little bit of spiritual life. But the problem with that is that many people can put on a show. You know, they can pretend many things of those sorts that are not actually there. So my own personal idea is the number one thing you want to look for is something very pragmatic. I mean, let's be real. This is probably not going to last. So, I mean, having that perspective.
Can I just just casually to challenge you. What is the reasons that it's not going to last?
Okay. Well, we already know that more than 50% of marriages end in divorce, okay?
But why?
But it doesn't matter why. It matters that it just ends, and so you can go into marriage knowing that it's probably going to end. No, but let me tell you what.
Oh.
Let me just say.
Okay, just recap.
But for my own personal opinion, I would prefer to be a little bit more pragmatic approaching this for the qualities, and I would go for something. Personally, I would look for the cold hard cash. The cold hard.
Oh.
So you want to see the bank account. You want to know that you're going to walk away with something, not nothing. And you can't walk away with something if they have nothing. So you want to make sure
that makes me think. It just is a good reminder. Listen up,
Well, it's called being real. It must be realistic.
Right.
And for my own personal...
People don't get so caught up in just the feelings. That they're not real.
Well, and they think that they can judge a person's character.
Yeah.
No, look at the bank account.
No.
That never lies.
No.
Never. And furthermore, if you happen to like for me, I love Sweden, and so for me, I would look for someone with a Swedish stuga, a little cottage in Europe, and in somewhere in Scandinavia at least, so that things go south. Maybe I get that. Maybe we can work a deal from the beginning that if he walks away, that I get the little cottage in Sweden. And then I would feel much more confident, going into the marriage, knowing I am going to walk away with something tangible, something that I can hold on to.
Of course.
So I don't want to be left with nothing.
I wouldn't expect anything less.
Thank you, Don. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
That's some good stuff.
So it's just depth mixed with wealth, and it's just tricky. It's messy, but worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Kim, let's take a little journey through the relationship process and look at, we've done a lot of dating coaching.
Yeah.
And, outings and dating and money and, just messy.
Right.
But I want to ask you, what are some of the differences when the moment that you pop the question, gentlemen, and what happens later and what changes?
Well, I think that a lot of this has to do with expectations, And I really feel that in such a situation, I think really that the main thing that you want to do, as soon as there is an engagement and a ring on the finger,
right?
Then I think as much as possible what I would do is really, at that point, try to become very much disagreeable and really challenge that relationship. You want to know, is this person really going to stick with you, through the good and the bad? And the only way to know that is to be the most disagreeable you can be. So I would start, if you've never called them names, I would begin calling them names, calling them out on things, just arguing just for the sake of arguing.
Whoa.
Just to really, you really want to test that. And furthermore, and okay, go. You're John.
Kim, I just feel attacked. Because, Kim, let's just imagine that the opposite is true. That names should be turned into winks and slaps into kisses.
Well, that is all well and good as long as you don't worry. You have no care.
As long as they don't worry what? As long as they don't worry what?
You have no care in the world about whether they're going to stick around when you're on your worst days. When you're having a bad day and you're very disagreeable, then how would you know? I mean, if you don't intentionally try to be disagreeable, then and furthermore,
It's food for thought.
what about you maybe you change your hair color to something you know they won't like and see how they respond. How is that reaction going to be? And maybe change something that they think you like maybe they thought that you loved coffee, but then one day you say, I hate coffee actually. I don't know. Today I woke up and I just decided I don't like it and I don't want it in my house. So I don't care if you like coffee because it's not going to be in my house.
Yeah.
So I mean, do you still want to marry me or not?
Yeah.
because
So, I think what I would like explore in the differences is just like you're comfortable, and I just think that more would change with what you talk about. So, for example, like once you're engaged, you can feel comfortable like talking about babies. And you can be like, I want to have this many babies. And you can be like, we have these babies. And it's not weird because you're engaged, if that makes sense.
Sure.
So I just think that, you learn to, like a good dog with his owner. They get to cuddle and they talk.
Okay.
It, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, and now I'd like to know from John about his perspective on how to know.
I'm sorry. So, like, this is just a conversation. You can just ask me, like, John. Yeah, sorry. We'll cut that.
Okay, John.
Yeah.
John.
Oh, Kim.
Okay, John. So what do you think about how soon should you propose? I mean, after you really think that maybe this could be the one for you, at what point? What do you think about that?
Oh, okay. Thanks for asking me.
Yeah.
So, when it comes to, how soon, so you're in this relationship and you want to know, granted, girls can propose, I think.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, they can't.
Yeah. This is my little motto for you. It's never too soon to live with no regrets. Just think about that. It really makes sense because you have regrets with no soonness. So, all that being said, be spontaneous. Think of it on the moment. If you're, whatever. This is how I would think of it. You walk in a grocery store and you walk down the aisles and you see like a sale. You want to snatch it up.
You do.
You snatch it up.
You don't want to miss it. You don't want someone else to snatch it.
Oh my goodness.
Especially if there's only one.
I'm glad we can agree.
Yeah.
So think of it like a sale. It's comes today, gone tomorrow.
True.
Yeah.
That's a good.
What is your opinion, Kim? What are your thoughts?
For me, I think that the very best. Well, I am a firm believer in love at first sight, and so I really think if there is not love at first sight, then there is no love at all.
Right, like us.
At all. It's there.
That's why we can talk about this without, because it's not love at first sight.
Right. It's either there or it's not. And so with John and I, it's not there.
Right.
There's nothing. But
There's an age gap. That's part of it.
few years.
I guess.
Yeah, maybe. But the thing of it is, but I do think, John, that, I think no matter how young, if let's say you know the person that you want to marry, I don't think it's ever too soon to give them a ring. Because, that will really speak volumes to them. And even if they're not interested, oh well, because you just want to make it very known to them that you desire them and that you are snatching them up whether they like it or not, because you have love at first sight. And as long as you do, I think that it will eventually be repaid. I mean, it will, it's kind of like a circle, it starts and then it finishes.
Wait, so are you saying that love is really, like, it's one-sided?
It can start one-sided. And I think you can kind of maybe be a little bit forceful in completing that circle of love, because you start. You started. And then, you know, you put a little pressure by getting a ring.
Okay.
And then they really can't walk away because,
Right.
you know, I think there's a little bit of pressure.
It's sort of like almost like a little trap. But it's a good one.
It's a good trap.
It's a good trap.
And that's the difference, you know? It's
Yeah.
a good trap.
Yeah.
And let me think if I had something else.
Yeah. Wait,
Oh, but
wait, you're talking about the ring?
Yeah, no, about when you propose. We're not talking about which.
Wait, I'm sorry. Were you talking about the ring or how soon to propose?
I don't remember.
We don't remember what we're talking about. So just rewind if you're curious. So, you know, I said it's never too soon. Like snatch it up like a sail. Is that all you want?
Yeah. How? So yeah, that was we were indeed talking about the timing of it all and how it's.
Oh, and by the ring.
And I thought
By the rings.
And I think I was saying that the age doesn't matter, how young, you know. And I think honestly, the younger the better, because the sooner you can make that decision, then you don't have to worry about it anymore. So even if you're very young, like 13, say, you know, but you see someone and you think that's the one I want to marry, then you just, you know, you snatch them up, you get them a ring, you go ahead and give it to them, and then you're done with that decision, and you really don't have to think about it anymore. And it really relieves, you know, it causes a lot of relief for you as you age, you know.
Let's just think of it this way. Ready? Chachi? So we want to thank you for sticking around this far. We're wrapping up soon. Yeah, drink some tea, sit back. Let's just take a moment to. Yeah, we hope that helps you feel comfortable.
Joel and we like to laugh a lot, so
Right.
you know, it's okay. Laughter's good, and I think that's why people like our show, because we're not like all serious.
Right.
And, like,
We have been going up in views every video. So I think we just checked our last one. It's at 12.
Yeah.
At 12. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Kim, do you mind if I ask you one more question?
No.
Oh, okay. So, you know, this is, I think, that with the engagement on Poinsett, is the ring. Tell me about the ring. Like, you know, what is your opinion? What are some options and just, you know, thoughts?
Well, I think first of all, I think the whole process of the ring needs to be very individual because, well, let's be real, we are very individualistic people. So, you know, every person is different. And we need to be very creative with that, you know?
Right.
And I think one thing that I would very much pay attention to is the quality of the person. And how they value quality, because you want to know, like, are they going to take care of it? Or are they going to lose it? So my test would be like, oh, do they ever lose their car keys? You know, do they misplace things like that? Because if they do, then you know they'll probably misplace the ring. And then if they misplace it, then it's gone. So you don't want to spend a lot of money to have something that's going to be lost.
Yeah.
So I think if they're very irresponsible like that, then, you know, you want to go with something very inexpensive. They can easily be replaced. And, you know, maybe even, don't they have this little, does this have these machines where you put the little quarter and then like a little trinket comes out and it's like a little ring?
Oh, that's cheap.
I mean, I think they have some different kinds and, you know, you never know what you get.
So,
but
can I just, talk?
that's why we're here, John.
So, just elaborate on, like, how you test that person to see if they're, careless.
Well, you watch them, John. You're with them every day, almost, at that point. And so you know, like, oh, are they misplacing? Oh, I can't find my glasses. I can't find my wallet. I can't find my keys. And if they're, like, continually doing this, or very much, you have to gauge that and think. Because it's okay. It's okay if they lose things, because then you just know what to buy. And then you can easily replace them, when you go to Steak and Shake. There's a little machine. You can just get a new one.
Oh, yeah. So, I'm just gonna throw this in there. I think, I'm gonna talk to the men, because I'm a man.
Okay.
And, the differences are there. It's plain. But, I just think, I want to say be creative and be rich. Like Kim said, it all comes down to the money. It really does.
It really does.
It's not gonna last, most likely. 50%. So, at the end of the day, be rich, and if they're responsible, then buy them a nice ring. And this is something I would consider, because I come from like Native American roots, is consider toe rings. It's safe. You put it under a sock, and you don't have to worry. And you can just always have it. It's hot.
It's very hot.
It's
in here
pretty
today.
hot.
It's a very warm day. The air conditioning is not quite right in here.
But think about that in relation to a ring. Like fire blazed. Like stone.
The ring can be fireplace.
Like stone diamonds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, and then here's another thought. If someone really loves candy, they have candy rings.
Ring
So you can get
pops?
you can get
Yeah.
a lifetime supply.
Shut
of
up.
ring pops,
Shut up.
And you can even have them delivered regular basis. You know? Like every day or every week. You get
And
a
your
supply.
kids can have them. It's a family thing.
And so then it just keeps coming, the candy, it just keeps coming. And that would be really special for someone who really likes candy. Maybe they like candy better than the rings, and then they get 2 in 1.
Yeah. So just, think about it.
I
Whatever you can
do.
afford. You can take PVC from Lowe's and cut it. Lots of sizes.
We have some very creative ideas. I mean, that is why people watch our show.
It's because we have unique.
We are very unique for sure.
Yeah.
And very successful ideas. So.
Yeah. Well, that wraps up our discussion hour.
Yeah.
And, we wanted to close by just talking, letting you know that we only, are talking because we care
Yeah.
and because we're qualified.
Oh.
And, I've been in some relationships. I've grew up in Wales. So I dated some duchesses and, it was madness. But I got engaged a couple of times and got out of it, before it turned into poison. So, it's just skip and run, that sort of thing. And, that's why we give these advices.
And that's another reason not to go crazy with the rings, because, you never know if they're going to stick around, and you don't
Right.
want that ring to be gone.
Yeah.
All your money tied up.
Have you dated, many guys in Wales?
No, Wales, that's not really
engaged.
my kind of guy. I tend to prefer the Scandinavians, so... But I did say I wanted the Swedish Stuga.
Right. Oh.
So, it's a...
So like beards?
Oh, yeah.
Were you engaged then?
Big burly men, like fishermen. The Norwegian fishermen, the old guys. Lots of money.
Yeah.
Lots of
Yeah.
cold hard cash and
The cash. She's smart. She gets the cash and goes. That's how you're wealthy,
That's why I have the money I do.
Yeah.
I try to find the rich men and,
This is real life application of what we're teaching. Look at us. Don't you want to be us?
Yeah. I mean, it depends on how you define success. So do you really care about the success of the relationship, or do you care about the success of what you get out of the relationship when it's all over? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So
anyways.
Well, tell me, John, what have you walked away with from your relationship?
I've walked away with the satisfaction of giving someone... Oh, this is something I was going to say. It's sort of like herding cattle with emotions.
Oh.
So I walk away with the satisfaction of having herded cattle in a woman's emotions and herded it to a point where she learned something, I learned something, and we walked away. And that is a relationship. And that's what I've taken away. And that's what I will continue to learn. And maybe it'll work longer. Ever.
Ever. Ever, maybe.
Maybe.
Longer.
What about you?
Well,
you just...
What's that question you have for me, John?
What did you patriotize in your love?
You mean besides the money?
Excuse me, John.
That's my secretary.
Why, that's John's mother.
That's my mother.
She's a little disconcerted about the tea.
Anyways, we hope you enjoyed our match chat session for this week.
Yeah,
Hope you learned something.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so this has been John
And Kim
with Match
Chats.
Chats.